think I'm good. Am I good yet?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. All right, y'all. Let's get it started. I think I'm great right now. Let's get this show started. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and I want to thank y'all in tuning and tapping in. We talk about everything here, whether it's sports, entertainment, social commentary, the viral moment. We speak about everything here. We have a good time, respectful time, but we have the real conversation. So again, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. It means the world to me. Again, episode 235. That's a lot of episodes. So, shout out to y'all in the chat. Appreciate y'all for tuning and tapping in the chat. All right, y'all, let's get the show started. Y'all already know. Shout out to the chat. Matter of fact, let me shout out the chat. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to King Prince in the building, or King P in the building. Shout out to Tremont in the building. Uh, Sorry about that. Shout out to Winter in the building. Shout out to who's that? Let's see. Shout out to, I'm not gonna say everybody, but shout out to y'all in the chat though. Y'all been holding it down. First comment of the night talking about Shay. She always hit with the first comment of the night if she get first comment of the night. So shout out to y'all regarding that, man. I'm just making sure all my monitors is good right now. So, thank y'all for bearing with me. But shout out to y'all Brooklyn all day. Your last episode had me rolling. The loyal crew. I appreciate that, y'all. We, like I said, we have a good time here, whatever that we talk about. So again, I want to thank y'all. All right, y'all, let's get the show started. Show presented by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, be on the lookout for some new music. We got some new music coming your way from OUV Records. The new OUV Records app is still in development, but it's a better listen, better viewing experience. It's super fire, and it's a whole bunch of music that we can't wait to send your way. Don't forget, y'all, the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We only celebrate life culture over here. Hate has a location, it's just not here. We have a good time, and let's get the show started. First segment of the night, y'all, popular opinions. Remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. All right, y'all. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Again, go to Instagram at OUV Records. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire. So make sure y'all tune and tap in as well. All right, y'all. First question of the night. Which country do most men visit? Which country do most men visit on this list? Number one, Thailand. Number two, Mexico. Number three, Philippines. Number four, Dominican Republic. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, which country do most men visit? Again, number one, Thailand. Number two, New Mexico. Number three, Philippines. Number four, Dominican Republic. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. It's funny. I had a friend in junior high school, but he was Dominican though, and every summer he would be like, "Yo, I'm going back to, I'm going back to DR." He was going back to Santo Domingo, and he was like, "Man, there's always a good time." And when you're that young, and me being from Brooklyn, you don't know what other countries is like at that time. Like my family didn't grow up with the type of money to travel like that, so it was like, all right, that's what's up. And he would always have a good time. But then as I got older and older, became a man, all I would hear is the stories that, yo, you gotta go to DR, you gotta go to DR. It's so popping. So I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm gonna say DR. I'm gonna say most men do visit DR based on that, especially from where I'm from. Most men do visit DR from where I'm from. So it's all different perspectives in the chat. The chat, they saying demo. I don't. demo. I don't know. Demo. But yeah, but a lot of guys have visited Thailand, so they went crazy, had a good time in Thailand. Uh, Philippines, I've heard most guys like really go there and want to live there. Like they meet somebody, they want to build their life there in the Philippines. I've always heard that type of experience in the Filipinos or in the Philippines. And then as far as Mexico, I've heard Mexico is a good time, a great visit, vacation, but I don't know, most people that visit Mexico wanted to live there. But those are college students. Like, you know, a lot of my friends, you know, the Mexico years, you go to Mexico for the break, right? So again, I'm going with DR. The chat, they went with DR in the chat. They went with Dominican Republic in the chat. Um, Mind y'all, over 79,000 people voted on this. 44% went with, and I'm not surprised because from what I've heard about the Philippines, that people have gone there and want to move there. It's like a whole different type of lifestyle there that most men really enjoy. So I'm not surprised hearing that. Again, I've never been to the Philippines, so all I've seen is like different things that is like, you know, like certain parts of the city. It didn't look sexy, like somewhere I would want to visit like that. But I'm pretty sure there's tons of beautiful areas in that country. So you know, again, I'm not surprised at this. Me personally, I'm not surprised. Let me know in the chat what's going on with the monitors. Seem like things is freezing. Let me know if we froze up, y'all. Let me know if we froze up. I'll restart if we froze up. I don't know why everything is freezing. I hate when we get a good start and everything just get all freezed out. Yeah, I think I froze out. I think I froze out. For those who are watching, I'm gonna restart this thing right on up. It unfroze. Did it unfroze? I think it unfroze. Because I was about to restart this thing. I was about to restart this thing. It's still freezing. Yeah, we unfroze. Okay, we unfroze. We unfroze. That's love. That's wonderful. All right, y'all. So let's move this thing forward, y'all. For those who got froze, again, the question was, which country do most men visit? The choices was Thailand, Mexico, Philippines, Dominican Republic. I said Dominican Republic based on a lot of my friends, like I said, growing up ever since the 8th grade, a lot of my friends was from DR. They always told me about DR, so majority of my friends I know went to DR. I've heard other places that other men had a great time at, Thailand, Mexico, Philippines. The rest of the world at 44%. Mind you, over 80,000 people voted on this, or 70,000 people voted on this, went with the Philippines. So I'm not mad at that at all. Like I said, from based on what I hear, I heard it's a good time. So it is what it is. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Again, shout out to the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all. Best Valentine's Day gift. Best Valentine's Day gift. Number 1, flowers. Number 2, bedroom wear. Number 3, candy and chocolate. Number 4, jewelry. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And over 230 people voted on this too. So again, the question is best Valentine's Day gift. Number 1, flowers. Number 2, bedroom wear. Number 3, candies and chocolates. Number 4, jewelry. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. You know what's funny about Valentine's Day? Like me personally, I don't celebrate none of the holidays, but a lot of people do, right? Valentine's Day goes crazy. So if you dead run a Valentine's Day business every year, you could really make enough money in one holiday for the rest of the year. That's how crazy Valentine's Day go. If you really do Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and Easter, yo, you can make enough money on those holidays just on merchandise that the rest of the year, you living real good. You living real good. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, best Valentine's Day gift on this list. Best Valentine's Day gift on this list. Number 1, flowers. Number 2, bedroom wear. Number 3, candies and chocolate. Number 4, jewelry. Me personally, when I used to partake in a Valentine's Day thing or whatever the case may be, before I started, doing my research on things years ago, I'm not gonna lie. If I was in love with a woman, she would have got she probably would have got all 4 of these. I ain't gonna hold you. If I'm in love, if that's my woman, and she like me more than I like her, but I'm gonna appreciate her like I do every day on this particular day, I probably would do all 4. Flowers, candies and chocolate. That's the standards in my opinion. Flowers, candies, and chocolate. A little jewelry, it could be something like an ankle bracelet or a little bracelet, arm bracelet. That's a good time right there. Some nice smooth earrings. You know what I mean? And bedroom wear. That's, what I'm saying? That's basically for me and her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she put that on for me to take it off. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if I was really feeling her, then yeah, she could have easily got all 4 of these. Easily. So I just think flowers, candy, and chocolate, if you're a grown-ass man, I think that's standard on Valentine's Day for the woman that you love and care for, right? So, but me, I don't celebrate it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about when I was like in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so me personally, on this list, I'm going to say flowers. In the chat, I'm seeing what they saying in the chat. They said, bling me out. So obviously they going with jury in the chat. So they saying bling me out in the chat. Again, I went with flowers. The chat is going with jury. Mind y'all, over 230,000 people voted on this. Went with, and 43%, might I add, went with flowers. They went with flowers. Again, I'm not surprised. Y'all going to see it within 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks or next week? It was 2 weeks or next week. Whenever Mother's Day, whenever Valentine's Day pop up, y'all gonna see these flowers go crazy. You're gonna see people in the grocery store buying flowers. You're gonna see people at the flower store buying flowers, the gas station buying flowers. It's gonna go crazy. So between flowers and chocolate, can't go wrong with a good Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? And fellas, if you bring in a Valentine's gift to a woman that you've never been with intimately, do it right at least. It doesn't have to be the most expensive, but it just have to have presentation. If it have presentation, she's going to show you presentation. Does that make sense? I'm just saying. And especially if she like you already. If she likes you already, then this is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just a formality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get the mood popping, This is like foreplay. So yeah. So again, I went with flowers. The chat went with jewelry, and the rest of the world went with flowers. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. My next segment is Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I came up with this segment because Hollywood don't give us enough interesting movies with intrigue, with creativity. I feel like I got better ideas for both movies or movie series or show. So my Hollywood Need to Ask Us, I would love to see a part two on the classic movie Love and Basketball. Some people like, no, leave it alone. Love and Basketball is such a great movie, whether you're a basketball fan, whether you're a Lovers fan. It's really just a great movie to watch. It really is. It's a great movie. It's funny. It has a bit of that cringe of real life, and it's just a great watch. It's entertaining and it's a great watch outside of the real sappy love stuff, right? But to me, Love and Basketball is not sappy love stuff. I just think it's like coming to age and grown love, coming to age love, and mature love. So I think it shows the balance of all. But I would love to see a part two of this. So basically, what my story will pick up is basically 25 years later, Monica, Quincy still together, loving strong, going through life, holding it down. They have real couple issues, but they have real couple success and love being together, right? Is more green flags than red flag. Y'all know we live in red flag culture. I don't want to see the red flags so much. I want to see the green flags, keep them together. So, based on that premise, okay, now they have a daughter who's also playing basketball and going to school. But the switch is the daughter is not using basketball as a parallel to finding love. She's using real life as a parallel to finding love. And basketball is basically the thread that the family is together and learning how to play roles. That's what people don't get from sports and correlated to relationships. You learn how to play roles in your relationship. So I would love to see a part two from of Love and Basketball based on that premise. I have to make this rated R. My foundational actors would be Sanaa Lathan, Omar Epps, Regina Hall, and I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm gonna be open to the daughter and all the other existing actors. It was a lot of great actors in the first one, so I wouldn't be opposed to bringing quite a few of them back outside of these three. My director and co-writer would be Barry Jenkins, and my producer would be Gina Price by the Wood. So I think this will be a winning formula, and I think y'all will love to see this movie. So yeah, so my Love and Basketball part two. Shout out to Paul. We got Big Paul in the building. One of our day ones. Appreciate you for tapping in. Hey, good night, Ashley and everyone. Appreciate you, Paul, for tapping in. Major, major love. Major, major love. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. It really does. Shout out to Paul. Wait, so Omar Epps' character name was Quincy. Love and Basketball. Hold up. You said, so wait, Omar Epps' character name was Quincy Love and Basketball. His name was Quincy, right, in Love and Basketball, and Quincy, yes, in the movie Juice. Facts. Yes, facts. Facts. Quincy nickname Q. Yeah, facts. Facts. Yes, yes. Facts. That's kind of lit, right? Omar Epps hit every gamut of like athlete in all these movies. He's been a football player, basketball player, baseball player. He's been, a DJ, high school. Like he's played every gamut of athlete or every kind of like, wishing on the star, make it out the hood type of character, right? But yes, his name was both Quincy in both movies. That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment, our must-see segment. Y'all know I'm going to give y'all 3 fire must-see movies to tap into and give them some Eddie Awards. Some Eddie Awards, yes, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy's the standard. I'd rather give out Eddies than Grammys, Tonys, and so on and so forth, right? So my first Eddie Award goes to this movie, Must See. Came out in 1997, directed by Louis Losa. This movie stars Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, John Voight, Owen Wilson, and Eric Stoltz. This movie is called Anaconda. Fire must see movie. Great movie about expedition crew that does documentaries. They go to the Amazon, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it. It's amazing. It's such a classic movie that it's so many people that still haven't seen that original movie, which blows my mind. Second must-see movie, and my second Eddie Award goes to a movie that came out in 2004, directed by Dwight Little, stars John Mesner, Morris Chestnut, Cade Strickland, Nicholas Gonzalez, Matthew Marston, Sally Richardson, and what's that? I'm sorry, and Eugene Bird. This movie is called Anaconda 2, The Hunt for the Blood Orchids. Fire must-see movie about a pharmaceutical company finding basically the fountain of youth in a pill, and you have to see the rest of the movie. It is a must C movie, Fire movie. And my third Eddie Award goes to a movie that came out in 2025, directed by Tom uh, Gurricane. This movie stars Jack Black, Daniela Merligar, Paul Rudd, Dadany Newton, and Steve Zahn. This movie is called Anaconda. This one is more of a comedy of lifelong friends that always wanted to do a movie, and they finally get together after one of them had a big birthday, and they watch the rest of the movie. Again, I won't spoil it, so make sure y'all tap into these three movies. Number one, Anaconda from '97. Number two, Anaconda 2, The Hunt for the Blood Orchids, and reprised Anaconda again that came out in 2025. So those are my three Eddie Murphy awards going to those fire movies. Yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one, our profile artist. You know, I'm gonna give y'all some fire music to tap into, whether it's new or old, whether it's hip hop or R&B. I'm gonna give y'all that heat. I'm gonna give y'all that fire. So the profile artist we got tonight is the R&B group called Total. Fire group, legendary group, and I'm gonna give 3 Michael awards. Y'all know who Michael is. Stop playing. Y'all know who MJ is. I don't have to say who MJ is. If anybody from the culture asks me who MJ when it come to music, I'm gonna slap that one. But no, I'm playing. But my first Michael Jackson award goes to the song What You Want featuring Mace by Total. Must have song on your playlist. Put that on there. Second Michael Jackson award goes to the song Can't You See featuring the Notorious B.I.G. aka Biggie Smalls. Fire song. And my third song and Michael award goes to No One Else featuring The Brat. So make sure y'all put those 3 songs on y'all playlist by Total. Again, what you want, uh, can't you see, and No One Else. So make sure y'all put those 3 songs on your playlist by Total. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next the turkey or nah. Y'all already know how the rules of the game go. Type in T to send them the turkey. You type in N not to send them the turkey. Anthony Davis have been traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the Washington Wizards. Are we sending the Washington Wizards to Turkey or nah? Are we sending the Washington Wizards to Turkey or nah? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending the Washington Wizards to Turkey or nah? For trading for Anthony Davis from the Dallas Mavericks. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. For those who watch basketball, for those who are basketball fans, me personally, I'm going to say send this to Turkey. Me personally. At the end of the day, what do you think you're getting, Washington? Let's be fair. Anthony Davis, great player. Anthony Davis will undoubtedly be a Hall of Fame player, for sure. One of the best power forwards we ever seen in the game. But not only has his game, but his health has always been an issue, even throughout his career, even the younger part of his career. So now in the latter part of his career, mind you, he's only like 31, 32. He still has injury issues. So why are you trading for a guy at prime age? Who are you, like, what are you expecting to accomplish? Are you expecting to booster your rotation? Or are you expecting him to be Anthony Davis? Because honestly, based on his injury life in the NBA, I wouldn't expect him to be my foundation making this trade. Now, do we expect Washington to make any type of playoff run? No. So I have to send this to Turkey. This have no upside at all. This feels like a contract dump. You know, they just traded for Trae Young. He's also had injuries. So, like, at their best, Trae Young and a guy like Anthony Davis, you could push for the playoffs. But we got to be realistic. They haven't been at their best. And what type of future do Washington hope to have with Anthony Davis, and you have Trae Young as your best player right now. Because if Anthony Davis was healthy, I mean, Anthony Davis is one of the best players in the league when healthy, but he's not. And he's never going to be a full 100% just based on his injury history. So, or medical history. So I have to send this to Turkey, me personally. In the chat, y'all been sending this to Turkey. So I'm sending this to Turkey. I just think that the Washington Wizards, y'all have no direction. Y'all have no identity. Even with a star player like Trae Young, what are y'all leaning on to get to the next level? So I have to send this to Turkey. And this is why I say the NBA is a super whore mentality culture type league. There is no styles, no team gets these set of players to play a certain type of way to play against this other team that plays a different type of way to create intrigue. So I just, like, I don't know what Washington is doing. It's not a player destination place. Y'all not bringing in the players from trades to make other players that want to say like, damn, y'all got this guy who know how to distribute the ball. I want to go there because I know I'm gonna get the ball and I'm be able to shoot in the corner or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna be able to cook. I could be able to play defense. Washington, and it's such a marquee place. Like, I just don't understand why the most marquee places have been such the hardest places to build. But basketball wise, I know why basketball wise, because the NBA, and I say this all the time, all the franchises don't care about winning. They don't care. Look how they build their teams. So again, you would think a place like Washington would care about building their team. They would benefit more if they had a good team. Sometimes you forget they have a team in Washington in basketball. They should go back to being the Washington Bullets, because when it was the Washington Bullets, for some reason management seemed like they cared about that team way more than the Wizards. It just seems it's just a shit show of a franchise. I have to say, it doesn't look good. Shout out to my dog Tom in the building. Appreciate you for tuning in, tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Ashley and chat family, respect, blessings. Stay consistent and healthy. 100% fire. Appreciate you as always. And your, like I said, your support means the world. So again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers, y'all. We're a little over 12. So make sure y'all continue to hit that like, subscribe, share button, or notification bell. I do pop up throughout the week. And make sure y'all tap into the membership portion of the page. Take advantage of that membership. Different memberships do get granted different type of access. You know what I'm saying? Like the Secret Service. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get like Secret Service type of access over here. So plenty of love to y'all. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night. Question to all the adults out there. What's the best age as an adult? What's the best age as an adult? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, what's the best age as an adult? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. That's going to be quite interesting to see some of y'all answers. Me personally, it feels like the older I get, the more I'm like, yo, this age is the best age to be as an adult. And I don't know if that's like a me thing, but I have to speak from my experience too. But me personally, I'm going to have to say 40. I'm 41, but the reason why I'm going to say 40 is because it's such a peak age mentally, physically, emotionally. You just have a different clarity of what you need to do and your purpose. And it's such a great age where business-wise, people respect you on a whole nother level. Now, mind you, if you're a prodigy in your business space or anything that you do, whether it's corporate, whether it's entertainment, music, sports, whatever thing that you do at a very young age, and you're very great, people will respect you for it. But it's a different type of respect when you hit a certain age. It's something about that mature age where it's just, it hits different. So for me, it's going to be 40. Like, and I'm not, again, I'm not saying nothing to brag, but I feel amazing. I'm in great shape. Your frontal lobe has developed. You know what I'm saying? Again, you have perspective, whether it's for you or against you, and it's a complete thought process. You don't move on emotion. It's, or not just on emotion. It's a complete different process. So for me, I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna say 40. The best age to be an adult, in my opinion, is 40. In the chat, shout out to Shay, said 38. 38, LOL, maybe 38 to 41. Okay, okay. Again, 38 is also a great age because physically, like, you think once you hit, like, once you in your 20s, and you're like, damn, 10 years from now, I'm gonna be like 35, 36. It's like, what I'm gonna look like? What I'm gonna feel like? You feel as what you are. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like you got that young energy, you're gonna have that young energy. Now, don't mess around and actually like work out and eat right and take care of yourself. Then your energy gonna go through the roof. Then you really gonna feel younger than what, you know, than what the feeling is supposed to be, right? So, you know, I'm like I said, I went with 40. The chat, y'all said 38 to 41 is the best age to be an adult. And as an adult, everybody has to take you serious. I mean, at that point in the game, if you're in your 40s or 40 and most people in your life don't take you serious, that's a problem. That's a you problem. You have to learn how to assert yourself. It's either that or you need to find a whole new group of people that's going to take you serious when you mean business. Okay, so I'm just saying, I know a lot of, 40-year-olds or a few 40-year-olds that still live and act like they're in their teens, meaning that they still live at home with mom. Their behavior is very teenish. Um, the things that they embody and what they watch is very teenish. So it's like they never grow up. How they handle difficult situations is very teenish. So I know people that haven't, basically experienced different things that going out that bubble. So so what I'm saying? Shout out to my dog Tom. So Ashley, all these women that are in the 40s and 50s, is that ego or is that the same mindset they had when they was 24? Specify a little bit more. Specify a little bit more, Tom. Specify a little bit more. I'm gonna read that again. So Ashley, all these women that are in their 40s to 50s, is that ego or is it the same mindset that they had when they were when they was 24? Yeah, so you said that right. So when they was 24. Based on my research, based on my experience, they say, this is what they say as far as the research. They say that most women don't grow past mentally past 14. Now, I'm going to call somewhat cap on that, right? Now, there's something to be said emotionally based on how you handle situations. They're not talking about smarts. Obviously, I've been around, well, not obviously, but I've been around educated women all my life. Like masters, PhDers, damn near, I know a few doctorate, like heavily educated, right? But we're not talking about education. We're talking about how they handle situations. And I've seen most women revert back to their younger self on how they handle situations and matters of the heart. So I can speak on that aspect. I'm not speaking on intelligence from just on intelligence standpoint, just women know how to, do things or whatever. No, that's idiotic for me to say, because again, my mother was very educated, very smart. My cousins, my aunts, I mean, just in my family alone, very educated women. Other women that I was around was highly educated. But when you throw a dude into a situation, they didn't handle a situation basically like you would think a grown ass woman would handle that situation. It was reverted back to teenage years. Toxic, catty behavior. Is all women like that? Of course not. I'm not going to sit here and say that. And I'm also not going to placate. I won't do that. But based on my experience, that's what they say. But in this particular mode, for all people, which is their best years being an adult, we got women in the chat. We got one that said 38 to 41. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly. If it is what it is what it is. We have to be honest about the conversation. I know sometimes the conversations that I have, it ain't easy, but I'm speaking from my point of view. And I spoke on it. Shout out to Tom. The reason why I say that, because if you put Tupac Shakur in a room with Michael B. Jordan in a room together, you had 100 of women in there. They would go for the thug or good guy. I think most women just naturally like the thug type dude. I think most women like that, and I think most women would even admit to it. But it takes a certain type of woman to realize what would be the best, what version she would best be with. Some women feel like their best version of themselves will be with Tupac, and some will say Michael B. Jordan. So, it depends. It really depends. It really depends. So I can't say, either way personally, but as far as what's the best age to be as an adult where people fully take you serious, I'm definitely gonna have to say 40. I'm definitely gonna have to say 40. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in our time to rap. Homeland Security intelligence noted it obtained information to all police stations and the policing of all states, basically saying that domestic partners are increasingly using chemical and biological toxins to kill their partners. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Homeland Security intelligence have noted to all the precincts throughout the states that be very careful, because domestic partners are increasingly using chemical and biological toxins to kill their partners. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Yeah. Y'all must have been mad at me on what I said about the women. Hey man, if I can't speak my truth, I can't speak my truth. You just gotta do the research, and if it don't apply, let it fly. I said what I said. But based on the Homeland Security, basically reaching out to all the precincts, basically let them know, be noted that domestic partners are increasingly using chemical and biological toxins to kill their partners. This is a very real thing. This is a very real thing. Using certain chemicals could really take somebody out naturally because it's natural gases, natural chemicals that you could infuse into somebody's drinking water and their food, and you just never know why somebody passed away. Um, it's also a very scary thing because we talk about on the show all the time about finding the right partner, and sometimes, not sometimes, but we live in a culture where it's very divisive. People get mad at what men say and people get mad at what women say. But at the end of the day, we need each other. That's what's going on at the end of the day. And because it's so divisive, no matter what somebody say, this person's canceled, that person's canceled, like people can't speak their truth. But this goes into this situation very evenly because at the end of the day, what's the purpose of building your life with somebody if you have to worry about them trying to kill you off? If they're trying to get the insurance money, if they're trying to take advantage of something that you have going on that they can't get access to unless you're gone. So you just never know if you're dealing with somebody out for true love or because they're looking to get something. They having a hidden agenda. That's a very scary thing when you're building a life with somebody and come to find out they had a hidden agenda all along. So I just find it quite interesting that on one aspect, we're shooting and giving out the fact that, people should stay single and, women should be on this side and men should be on the other side. And then you have another group of people like myself saying, yo, we need each other to build. We need each other. We need connection. There's no reason why men and women don't have connection for a long period of time. We need that shit. Why do you think our parents had connection? Our grandparents had connection. And guess what? Their stuff wasn't perfect neither, but they realized they needed connection. But then you find out when people are married and they're together that they naturally trying to off each other off for insurance policies and other things like that. So it loses its luster on the incentive of actually finding love, building a life with somebody, only to find out they got a hidden agenda. That is scary. That is scary. We see it every day with athletes, with other entertainers, or artists, and things of that nature. Where people would marry them, they'll be together for years, then all of a sudden artists would retire, athlete would retire, and they get divorced within the first 2 months of them retiring. So it's a very scary thing whether if somebody is with you, or they just with you for a time, for a season, for a reason to make sure that they secure their future. So it's very scary regarding that. So yeah, moving on to our next hot topic, viral question, a question that went super viral. If all your exes was in the same room, would they? I'm sorry. If all your exes was in the same room, what's one thing that they will all agree? Again, if all your exes was in the same room, what's one thing that they will all agree about you? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, the question is, it's a viral question and everybody's been talking about it. If all your exes was in the same room, what's one thing that all of them would agree upon about you? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Don't forget to hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Make sure y'all tap into the membership portion. Take advantage of those memberships as well. Shout out to Shay in the building. They'll say I'm sweet. Okay, okay. So they'll say you got a good personality. Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, if all your exes was all in the same room, what's one thing they will all agree upon about you? So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, if all my exes was in one room, the one thing that they would say about me, I can't say it on camera. No, I think they would say, mm, mm, I think I know what they would say. I'm gonna go with the second thing. I think they would say is that I'm very protective. I think that's the second thing that all my exes would say if they was all in one room, that they all can agree upon about me, is that I'm very protective. When somebody's my woman, I don't play about them. I don't play about their safety. I don't play them games at all. At all. At all. I don't play about their safety. At all. The surroundings, how other dudes act, like I don't play around with their safety. That's just me personally. So I think that's the second thing that they will say. I can't say the first thing for real. I like this something else, but the second thing would definitely be that I'm very protective. So yeah. So in the chat we got Shay. Shay said that she thinks that all her exes, if they was all in the same room, that they will all say that she's sweet. Most women would say that, like, y'all sweet or whatever. Like all women do say that. Like, I'm sweet, I'm nice. Y'all say that, but all sweet women do got like a scary side to them. Like, you're not tricking me. You're not tricking me at all. Every sweet woman, a woman that come off sweet, come off nice all the time, they all got a scary side to them. They all got that side where it's like, you play them too crazy, then they gonna show you crazy. They gonna show you crazy, crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna play me with that one. You're not gonna play me with that one. Laugh out loud. Yeah, nah, you ain't tricking me, man. When a woman say she nice, that means there's a part of her that's not nice. So, feel me? I just think that's interesting. So that question is going super viral right now, and everybody's chiming in. So, I had to make it aware for y'all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Uh, Woman from R. Kelly infamous 2001 sex tape speaks out. First TV interview. Rashana Landfair. Rashana Landfair. First time speaking out. Again, woman from the R. Kelly infamous 2001 sex tape speaks out for the first time. I remember that sex tape. When that sex tape came out, I was in high school. And I remember when it came out, it hit like wildfire. It was damn near on every street corner in New York City where they were selling bootleg copies. And I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I find it twofold on this because this is very interesting. Now, that tape, and I remember seeing that tape, said they had one minor on that tape because the first few women that was on that tape was grown women. They was grown. He still dealt with a minor at the time. He was a grown man. So it's wrong. But at the end of the day, here's what I'm confused about. She was a young lady that was having a relationship or activities with a grown man that she shouldn't have had. Obviously, there's fault on R. Kelly. It's evident. You should know better. You're a grown ass man. I honestly never understood grown ass men that was attracted to like girls. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean by girls, being like junior high school girls, girls that's like high schoolish. Like once I got to high school, I was only dealing with high school girls and higher. I wasn't going back to my junior high school to deal with junior high school girls. When I got to college, I'm only dealing with college women. I wasn't even dealing with high school women for real. And when I say by for real, like meaning like, somebody would just graduate high school, you're 20 years old, and you start dating them or whatever the case may be. It's like, yeah, they're not reporting to high school. They're about to go to college, right? but I never went back down to my high school to look for the high school girl. So I just never understood that. And more so for the men who are grown ass men that's not in high school, not in college, they're grown men. Why are you going back to the high school looking for girls? Like college is one thing because there's grown women. But if you're 24, 23, 24, 25, you're looking for other grown women. So I just never understood that premise. But this in particular, they went above and beyond in protecting this young lady moving forward, meaning the act happened, right? The act already happened. So what I mean by protecting, I mean by the courts. When they found out who it was, they found out her age and everything like that. We did not know what this young lady looked like. We did not know her name. We didn't know where she was located. So the courts did an excellent job, in my opinion, by protecting her all these years. Like, that R. Kelly tape was literally on the tape. So them VHS tapes back in the day is like we see that act, but like you can't really see nobody's face for real. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see the face, but you don't see the face. It's fuzzy or whatever the case may be. So that the clarity of that tape is not good enough for 20 years later in 2026 to be like, oh yeah, I remember you. Like I remember you by face when you was like. So the court went above and beyond in protecting her all these years. Her name, because you can't release a name when somebody's under a certain age. Her face, you know, the way she looked, and the whole 9 yards. They go above and beyond in doing that, only for her to come out in 2026 and make mention that she was the young lady that it happened to. Why? 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 When everybody went above and beyond protecting your identity after the fact. This is not victim blaming. I'm not talking about the act. The act in itself, R. Kelly is wrong, point blank. Number two, where was the parents? Everybody talk about R. Kelly and these kids. Hey, you are the adult, but where's the parents? Where is the parents? I have a daughter too. And when your daughter is a certain age, as a dad, you know where she's at. She not like, and if she's somewhere, she's gonna be somewhere where you're at, or where your lady's at, or her mother's at, or there's always a parental atmosphere around your children, especially at the age that she had her relationship or activities with R. Kelly. So that's not going unnoticed. That has to be noticed. But after the fact, we didn't know her name. We didn't know what she looked like. Why put yourself under more scrutiny? Why not continue to get the work that you need mentally and do the work quietly, where you could go on with your life? That's the whole purpose of protecting your identity, so you won't be known as the girl that R. Kelly had his situation with at one point in time. So that way you can have a real life, you can have your children, you can have a relationship without people looking at you as R. Kelly's, scandal. Because I would think that nobody wants to be defined by one thing, especially if it's something that's traumatic and it's something that is going to take time to get over. That's something you will want to heal in private with your family and people that care about your well-being and your mental health. So why put yourself under this much scrutiny where people are going to speak out for you and against you? There's going to possibly be people that's going to come out and try to blame you when they can't blame you. And the reason why I say people are going to try to blame her is because some people's going to say, well, you was a victim before me. And because you was a victim before me, if you would have spoke up and speak out, then it wouldn't happen to me. when again the onus is on the person that did it to you. The onus is on the adults that should have protected you. The onus on there is a self accountability that at a certain age you should know better too. Because when I was 12, 13, 14 and sexually active, I knew what I wanted to do with with the girl. So it's like what are we talking about? And then me, I've had experiences with people older than me before my time. I knew what I was trying to do. But again, that person is older than me. They should have known better. But I also knew what I wanted to do. So people are going to try to blame her on that aspect, on her being the first victim. And if she would have spoke up and speak out, that it wouldn't have happened to them when the onus is not on her for real. So why carry that? Why put that on you when you don't have to? Especially if you have children, or if you plan to have children, or if you plan to have a healthy relationship moving forward. Why put more of that on you, and why not continue to get the treatment for the trauma that you went through? So that's like my only caveat on her speaking up and speaking out now. That's what makes it a difference, because people went above and beyond to protect your name, to protect what you look like, so that way you can have a healthy life moving forward, or a less traumatic life, and let you get your trauma and all you need in private. So now why put this on you? That's my only caveat with her speaking out, because honestly, it doesn't do anyone good. Some people say, well, this is her speaking out for her trauma, and this is her getting over it. How? How? What was accomplished in public that she couldn't do in private? What was accomplished? The only thing that was accomplished is now she's putting a more of a target on her back for both good and bad. So why do it when people went above and beyond to protect you, to protect your name, and to protect your face? That matters. 2026, this happened in 2021. So 25 years ago, as of right now, nobody knew what she looked like, and nobody knew her name. So that's my only caveat on her speaking out publicly, because now she put an unwanted target on her back that is, it kind of feels like she's looking for fame. She's trying to sell a book. When you went through trauma, and maybe some of the trauma, it may take you to write a book and to get it out. Okay, cool, all right. Why not drop it anonymous Kelly? When you put R. Kelly name on top of it, now it becomes a media bonanza. You could have said that you went through all that trauma if you had a book or trying to sell a book. You went through all that trauma with somebody that's famous, or somebody whatever, but you don't have to allude to R. Kelly, so that way you could get your trauma out. Other people could get the medicine that they need from your story, and so forth and so forth, when it's concentrated on healing. So that's my only caveat on this young lady speaking out on that situation against R. Kelly. That's my only caveat. Why speak on it when everybody went above and beyond to protect you? So, that's my only thing regarding that. Shout out to the chat. Chat just I think it. Oh, are we good, right? Okay. So yeah. So again, it did froze. It froze up a little bit. We're still freezing up. Let me know if we're freezing up, y'all. Let me know if we're freezing up. Did we unfroze? Did we unfroze? Let me know. Let me know in the chat, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Successful connection. Okay, so we good. We good. We good. We good. We good. YouTube, y'all gotta stop playing with me, man. YouTube been playing with me lately. Y'all been playing with me lately. YouTube, messing with my chat, man. Messing with my chat. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic in time to get a rap segment. NBA trade deadline is upon us. Tomorrow's the deadline. It's doomsday. And so far, we've had some trades I spoke on earlier with the Washington trade um, with Anthony Davis. But James Harden to the Cavs, Chris Paul to the Raptors. Uh, 5 years ago, these would be top tier level trades. The Cavs trade for James Harden, I'm not that enthused. Uh, not that enthused. Like James Harden, he's been on several teams in several years, and he still haven't made a difference on any key teams to win championships. So I'm not that enthused. And in the East, they may get past the first, maybe the second round, but that's as far as Cleveland go, in my opinion. Um, but I could be wrong. If they in the finals, then I'll say I was wrong. Chris Paul to the Raptors. Again, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, big deal, not big deal. Chris Paul is a great player, a leader. At one point or some point, he will be in the Hall of Fame after his career. But him going to the Raptors, I don't view as a big deal. I believe Chris Paul is, 41, 42. A leader still. Are they going to the playoffs? Maybe the play-in at best. I don't think this is a big deal, me personally. I'm looking out to see what they do with the Giannis trade. That's what I'm looking out for. Giannis Antetokounmpo wants out of Milwaukee. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with that. I still believe that the best trade for Milwaukee is to do a 3-team trade. I still believe that Milwaukee should introduce themselves into a trade with the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors, where you have a trade that will send Giannis to Golden State, Draymond to Milwaukee, Moody and Kuminga to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn will send Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas to Golden State. Or you could send Cam Thomas to the Bucks. And then, of course, because Brooklyn, we have so many trade assets, we could throw some picks in that thing to Golden State, because as top-heavy as Golden State is, with the contracts, they're going to need younger rookies, especially them second-round picks, to fill out their roster. So I think that would be the best trade, to having Giannis go to Golden State, Moody and Kuminga going to Brooklyn, Green going to Milwaukee, Michael Porter Jr. going to Golden State, Cam Thompson going to the Bucks with the picks as well. So I think that would be a great 3-team trade. The Bucks will get what they need as far as veteran presence and also a new energy with Milwaukee. Golden State will get a team that can still vie for a playoff spot. And if you got a guy like Michael Porter Jr., who's best suited on being like the second or fourth best guy on the team, opposed to him being in Brooklyn, being the best player, and we're not winning, but he's putting up major buckets. He needs to go back and play more important basketball with the Golden State Warriors. And I would love the new makeup with Moody and Kuminga in Brooklyn, because of their mental aspect. They trying to prove something with that young group, young core. Brooklyn will build in no time. So I love that particular trade for all three franchises. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Question: Is high school reunions the report card of your life after high school? Again, the question is high school reunions the report card of your life after high school? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Me personally, I've never been to a high school reunion. But I feel like I go to a high school reunion every time I get on Facebook. Because every time I get on Facebook, there's several people chilling from my, not chilling, but there's several people that's there from my high school, whether we was classmates, upperclassmen, lowerclassmen. You know what I'm saying? Like either or is cool, but I kind of feel like we have high school reunions through Facebook. We see how people are living. We see how people are, being parents and conquering the world and doing things. And is it a report card of your life up until this point? It may be. It may be. I mean, because at the end of the day, I don't want to say you measure yourself against your classmates, but you keep mental note. You know what I mean? It's not like you saying to yourself, "Well, I'm doing better than this person or that person." No, me personally, I don't keep score. That's not what I'm about. I'm just hoping that all the people that I graduated is successful in whatever space that they're in. So me personally, I don't keep score, but it's just interesting to see people how they live, and you could kind of tell how they move mentally, physically, emotionally. Um, and just things that they do, whether they go on vacations, whether they have a career versus a job, whether they have children, do they have a workout routine, do they have a skincare routine, like all these different things you kind of pay attention to as you get older, moving forward after high school. So is a reunion, a class reunion, is it a report card after high school? I'm gonna say somewhat yes. I'm gonna say somewhat yes. But I always find it funny when I was a kid watching all like the 90s shows back in the day, the Family Matters, the Martins. And I bring up those shows in particular because those shows had class reunions. The Wayans brothers, they had like a 10-year class reunion, a 20-year class reunion, the Cosbys. And I'm like, damn, like one day I'm gonna be of age where it's gonna be like a 10-year class reunion, 30-year class reunion. And a lot of these episodes was, they felt like they got overweight, and they go back to their 28 reunion and everybody's overweight, and they had like a an emotional and a mental block about it, feeling accepted, and they feel like they're not the same person. And being in that space now, being 40 years old and seeing what my life is, and not compared to anybody else, but basically comparing my high school self to my grown man self. In high school, seeing yourself at 40 is very scary. You like, I can't even see that far. But when you're 40 and you look back to when you're 17, 18, it's such a beautiful journey because mistakes, you had a whole bunch of successes, and there's a whole lot of things you learn from. So I just think it's quite interesting looking at it now with a new pair of eyes and having a different perspective as a grown ass man opposed to a young kid and not knowing what that looked like. So, and it used to be funny because my father always used to say to me that he felt like I was going to be like a real heavy set guy because I used to eat like I used to eat crazy in high school. But I played sports. I've always been, I've always played several sports. I boxed, I played football, I played basketball. I can play baseball, but I ran track. Like I played all the way to, I played all the way to college as far as football. And so I've always been an athlete. So my metabolism and like the things I used to eat, it used to be crazy. Like if I went to McDonald's in one sitting, majority of the times when I used to go to McDonald's, I would get a Big Mac. I gotta wash that down with either a chicken sandwich or a double cheeseburger, because you remember those used to be $1. Get a dollar fry, get 2 apple pies, you get the 4-piece nugget, or I got the 4-piece nugget. And I washed all that down right there with like a medium orange, like the orange soda. And that used to be my meal every single time I go to McDonald's. Every single time. So my father would be like, damn, you're gonna be a heavy set dude when you get to your, get into your 40s, late 30s, early 40s. I'm 41, man. And I'm and I'm proud to say I'm just as I weigh just as much now as I did in high school. So I'm I weigh less than I do in high school because, you know, you take life serious. You know what I mean? So it's funny how you look at it from when you're a teenager opposed to a grown man. So I just thought that was interesting. Shout out to Shay. It's an eye opener, if anything. Okay, okay, it's an eye opener, if anything. Okay, okay. I definitely respect that. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Whew. This right here is different. Uh, Diddy, Diddy could be home, y'all. Diddy could be home sooner than later. So they saying Diddy has been accepted into the First Step Act program, which would allow him to be released from prison or released from jail as early as this summer. His original release date is May. Is it May? May 2028. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, Diddy has been accepted into the First Step Act release program, which will allow him to be released early this summer, 2026, opposed to his original release date, which will be May of 2028. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. I think this is very interesting. This is very interesting. I think honestly, I think all of this was already like planned. Am I the only one that feels this way? I really believe that all of this was planned. There's no way they stumbled upon this information. There's no way. I really believe ever since this all happened and started, a part of him being you know, found guilty and having to do the time that he's doing, this was always the end goal. I honestly believe that. This was always the end goal. Because, like, for real, based on the testimony of him, Cassie, all the other sex workers and everything that he was totally, you know, being found guilty of, and to get the little time that he ended up getting, now he gets this program on top of that. They really didn't want to give him time at all. If he gets released early July or just in the summertime period, I mean, they only made him do more time for optics. It's just to make the public feel good that he did some time. They're going to give him time served plus this little extra time that they gave him. This was only to satisfy the public and the status quo. This was not to satisfy him actually being found or looked at as a real criminal, as somebody that really did something wrong. I didn't even know if you fly somebody out, that's grounds of trafficking. If you fly somebody out like, hey, I miss you, she missed me, I'm gonna fly you out. Like that's grounds for trafficking if you flying that person out to get it popping. If you miss somebody and they miss you, y'all going to get it popping. So that's a part of flying somebody out. So that's like kind of stupid in reality anyway. But this lets me know that this program that accepted him, that he can be released in the summer of this year. They didn't want to arrest him in the first place. So that's how I feel about it. I just think that the case was a show. The trial was the movie, and the release date or the conviction was just to satisfy the public. Because when he gets released, to be honest with you, everybody's going to forget about everything else. They are. One thing P. Diddy has always been a master of is spinning his own narrative. I believe when he comes out, he's going to focus on whatever that's positive, and whatever that's positive, it will be plastered and posted so that way he could try to get his business name back. He can try. Because this case did not bury him. when he gets out, people will still be wanting to do business of some sort with P. Diddy. His name is not to the point where people don't want to do business with him. I guarantee it. He has a way in, for sure. So again, I believe that at the end of the day, this was all staged. This was all staged if he's able to get out this summer. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Uh question. Question. Is greatness boring? Is greatness boring? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 12,000 subscribers. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. You just never know when I'm gonna pop up. So hit that notification. Again, is greatness boring? Is greatness boring? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, based on what I see, social media, sports, in the real world, greatness, I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's not appreciated. Just think about it. In every aspect that we have, whether it's career, business, whether it's entertainment, sports, greatness is not appreciated. It's always heavily critiqued. Always. When you think of LeBron James, he's probably, I won't say probably, LeBron James is the most criticized athlete we've ever had ever since he came into the league. Mind you, great player. Mind you that. And also, he came into the league where basically social media was introduced to basketball, where ESPN was really covering high school athletes in a different way. So he was probably the first wave of that, and a mix of him being a phenom, being 6'8", 230 something pounds or 40 something pounds, as fast as he is, athletic, and being able to live up to his expectations. Easily the most criticized athlete ever. Mind you, I think Michael Jordan is the best player ever, but he is the most criticized from the decision to everything that LeBron James does. So in that aspect, greatness is not appreciated because LeBron James has broken a lot of records. And it's worth mentioning. And he's over 40 and playing very well. It's very worth mentioning. So I don't think it's appreciated. I think when he retires officially, I think he will be appreciated more once he retires. I think he needs to get outside of the game for people to fully appreciate the things that he did for the game. And mind you, LeBron James got a lot of records. He's played ever since he's been in high school, since 17, 18 years old. Well, I'll say 18. Since 18 years old, he's played in the NBA. So that's a lot of years. That's a lot of mileage. And he's probably played more basketball than a lot of our greats, which helped allow him to get a lot of these records. Muhammad Ali, another athlete, when he was active, he was not appreciated. He was very hated. If you go back and do the research, Muhammad Ali was very hated in his stance, how he boxed, how he talked, how he was brash and braggadocious. And then somewhere along the line, when he retired and he became, I don't want to say less of himself, but when he became, when it was visible that he had some sort of illness and he couldn't be as outspoken, or he wasn't as outspoken, then that's when you start seeing the love and appreciation being pulled in, where people from the next era appreciated his greatness. Like, damn, he was able to accomplish being a heavyweight champ and doing all of this while going through this personally, while going through this with the government, going through this with a particular set of people that, that was giving him so much kickback. I mean, it was just a madhouse regarding Muhammad Ali. But you can't have a real conversation about best athletes ever unless you mention Muhammad Ali. So in sports, for sure, it's definitely not appreciated. Now, in other aspects, it's still not appreciated. I think, honestly, once people really leave a situation, you really see their greatness for what it is. I think that's the main thing. So, is greatness boring? No, it's never boring watching somebody be great at that craft. But is it appreciated? I'm going to double down and say, no, it's not. Because again, you don't understand what they're doing until they're gone. So I that's where my mind is at. Is greatness boring? No, but it's not appreciated. Man, I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been absolutely amazing. Episode 135. I appreciate y'all support. Make sure y'all hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. And if this is your first time tuning and tapping in, it's the Cannon Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I am Ashley Lovechild. We talk about everything here: sports, entertainment, social commentary, and we have the real conversation, have a good time doing it. And again, we appreciate it. Shout out to Shay. She said, wow, Diddy legal team is on business. Yeah, when we talked about Diddy, yes, Diddy team do be on business for sure. But I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Remember, y'all, be on the lookout for that new OUV Records app. It's going to be absolute fire, a better listen, and just an overall better visual experience as well. Also, be on the lookout for some new music. We got the next episode this Sunday at 10:30. Also, I want to thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where again you get to find us some movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. And that's button-snaps.com. Also want to thank OUV Records. Tap into my Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. I'm Ashley Lovechild on everything, on every major platform. So make sure y'all tune and tap in. And remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not have the ability to stand out for being negative. Have the ability to stand out for being positive. Everybody not always going to agree with you in everything that you say, but support and real support is always going to support and agree to disagree respectfully, because we all have our own opinions based on feeling or fact. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture over here. Hate has a location. It's just not here, y'all. And y'all already know, man, it's love. And I'm going to see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. I'm out.